Good morning. Um, I am just coming out here doing, I guess, Silver Linings episode 9. These things are random. So this morning I am deciding to get up and talk about the peace that surpasses understanding, which for me, that idea came from Christianity, my faith. And I want to talk about it because I I want to be honest that in my life, I've found that not very many of us um, receive peace. And in fact, I think some of us fight peace. We have an idea in our own mind of what peace is and where it comes from. And it's usually when everything goes our way and we get everything we want and nothing challenges us. And then that's where peace will be. And I just haven't had that experience. My experiences when I think about peace is actually weird. The other day, I posted a question. I said, "Would you know what I meant if I said that I found Christ for the first time in my brokenness?" And when I thought about that, I was thinking about like the times where I could say I really, really felt Christ, and it was each time it was a time where I was broken. My relationship with Christ, even though I grew up in the church and everything, like my first real encounter I think with Christ was, which I've talked about before, was when I was about 6 years old, and I got told by some kids I was gonna get struck by lightning because I said something that I didn't know I wasn't supposed to say, and I got hurt by that thought because I see my aunt's up here, so she knows what I'm talking about. But I didn't really grow up with my dad, and I'll tell you right now, man, I'm like 44 years old, and just saying I ain't grow up with my dad has me about to cry. So I I didn't grow up with my dad, but my aunt who's watching, she and her husband, they took me in, treated me like their kid. But it started me off with a little bit of a shaky ground. And what happened is like I heard about God and church and stuff, and I was just like, okay. I mean, I was a kid, and but when I heard, and I'd already known some loss. My dad left. Then I was living with my granddad, and he died when I was 4, and that was my dude. And then my uncle Willie, who's married to my aunt who's watching, and my uncle Gatabu. But at any rate, God I heard was my heavenly father. And then when as soon as the kids told me like, "Oh, you're gonna get struck by lightning by God because you didn't you said something you weren't supposed to say," that hurt. Because I didn't really have much, and then I heard like the one that's supposed to be love was gonna strike me for lightning with lightning just for saying something I didn't know I was supposed to say. So I got mad and I got in the closet and I told God about God's self because I was like, "Hey man, you already took my dad, you took my granddad, now you're gonna strike me with lightning because I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm only a little kid. What's wrong with you?" And I said that, and I know that like if somebody would slap me back then if they would have heard me. That's why I went in the closet. But when I was in there, something happened. I don't know what to tell you what it was. But it was peace, and I didn't understand it. And I was in my pain, and something met me there, and it carried me for a long time. And then the next time, I mean, from then on, I was in church, read the Bible, all stuff like that. And then I had a fallout with my church at a low time in my life, and they were kicking me while I was down, and I was like, I'm about to give up on this whole thing, and just because sometimes the hurt that you can feel, the hurt that is seems more accessible than this other thing that people talk to you about. And so I was in my hurt, in my feelings, as some people say, and then I was gonna be done, and I mean done. I didn't care what happened to my life at all. And then here it comes. What's this? Peace? Where the heck this come from? Do I understand it? Absolutely not. Again. And I'm like, what? And then there's been other times where I thought like, oh, well, I got it now. I understand it. I'll never lose that feeling again. And then I've lost it again when I lost a person. Um, and I was feeling low. Here it is again, a peace. Where'd it come from? I don't know. So I started being grateful for my lack of understanding, because my understanding was taking my peace away, and my lack of understanding was bringing about something that I didn't know where the heck it was coming from, and I definitely couldn't take credit for it. And so I just like increasingly found myself being open to that peace under those circumstances. And here we are again. This is a different kind of situation where I don't know what's happening in the world. I hear all kinds of theories, and I know that the places where peace is supposed to come from, a lot of times it isn't, because people are so afraid that they're like, clamoring for their own. And there's people that's doing good things. I'm not going to act like there's not. But there's also a lot of us who say we walking into peace that are the first ones to steal some toilet tissue and lose our minds and all sorts of things. And I started letting it get to me a little bit. And then peace. So here we are again, peace. Where is it coming from? I have no idea. It's the peace that surpasses understanding. And I'm at a point right now where I don't think I'm ever going to understand it, and I don't think I need to. What I think I need is to keep my heart open, keep my mind open, and love my neighbor as myself. And that's as simple as I know what. It doesn't matter what you come from, what you've been taught. It's just love. And we make it hard. We make it real hard to love each other, to love ourselves. And I think that's because we use our understanding just a little too much. And the truth is, loving other people doesn't make sense. I mean, loving our own children sometimes doesn't make sense. But it doesn't have to, because it's simple. How do you want to be treated? Treat other people that way. And when you find yourself in a low place, there's a peace there. And I know there's a lot of us, I'm friends with people, this Jesus stuff doesn't make sense. And sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. But what does make sense is that sometimes we do our best in life. We try to be good people. We try to treat people right. And we still get turned on. We still get hurt. We still feel broken. And when we're at our lowest points, we feel like nobody cares and nobody's there. And at least according to what I've been taught, there's somebody who knows exactly what that feels like. And they probably are feeling pretty low. And they're hanging out there waiting for us when we're low, saying, hey, I know what it's like, but there's more to this story, and I'm going to invite you into it. And then, voila, however you say it, peace that I don't understand. So I'm praying for the peace that surpasses understanding in your life, no matter where you come from, no matter what your thoughts are, no matter what you've been taught, no matter what you believe, no matter what you've done, no matter what is going on in your life. I hope the peace that passes understanding, finds you. And maybe you don't need to name it. Maybe you don't need to understand it, but doesn't mean you can't claim it. Because the God who created the world created it before there was words to describe it. And so I hope that you can connect with that. And I hope you can connect with why I sound more country when I'm just being emotional, because I can hear my accent of countryness coming through. So I hope that at the end you smile at that. So peace that I don't get to all of you. Amen. I'm waving at some people. Love you guys.